It's been a long time since I've done a commentary, and I forgot how to set up everything. It is crazy. I feel like an idiot right now. Anyways, welcome. Yeah, I guess for those that don't know me, just quick generalization of who I am. My whole content here, if you go to my YouTube channel and see all my videos and everything, all started with Battlefield in theory. I pretty much grew to this passion of FPS shooter gameplay and whatnot off of Battlefield. I wouldn't be here today without Battlefield. In terms of still trying to grind any kind of FPS shooter or aim content in general based around TheBravenAim. So here I am. And obviously, we know what's released already, which is the teaser trailer release, very small snippet of the newest Battlefield. And so, hopefully, the gameplay background audio is not too much. I dropped 149 kills or something, and obviously there was bots in the lobby. I just wanted some background video for you guys to watch while you listen to this. But I want to just talk about this as like a wish list video, and I'm hoping that someone from the Battlefield Studios reaches out to me and tries to get a hold of me, because I believe I truly have some really good input for a long-lasting, longevity-purposed Battlefield title. Obviously, I truly believe this franchise doesn't realize what it has under its belt. It has a very strong potential to be the best top-tier shooter out there. So, just making this video, wanted to talk about a few things that I want to see in the next Battlefield game, because honestly, for those that already do know me, they know that this is kind of like my make-or-break situation here. I'm pretty much just gaming until Battlefield comes out, and if Battlefield is a flop like 2042 was, I'm probably just putting my hands up and retiring from trying even to do content creation on FPS Gaming. So I'm kind of leaving it in the hands of Battlefield, which sounds crazy enough, but I'm just doing it because I believe it's truly the only avenue I have of enjoying what PC gaming is for me, or aim content is for me at this point. Call of Duty ain't doing it. Call of Duty is terrible, so hopefully Battlefield can step up to the plate and finally take over with its potential that it has, take over once and for all and give the fans what they want. So I actually wrote down a list for my Battlefield wish list. And it's not a whole lot, but I'm just going to try to run through it as quick as possible. I know this is probably like a 20-minute video or something like that. So just going to try to run through it as quick as possible. And hopefully you guys do like the commentary. Please leave a positive message in the comment section. Obviously, if you guys have any rebutting opinions against what I like, then please also leave that in the comment section. We could discuss it. I'm all for both. But I truly do appreciate all the support. And, obviously a follow, like, and subscribe on all socials is always going to be accepted, and truly appreciate it. Keep me doing this. Obviously we're all trying to live our passions out there. So anyways, so without further ado, just quick introduction to myself. That was pretty much it. Kind of going through the list. I'm behind already. But yeah, so what it needs to survive and compete for years. Well, obviously, this is where one I know people are going to get a little iffy about. I truly think it needs a free-to-play aspect to it, but I specifically believe it needs a Battle Royale experience. I know some people hate Battle Royales. They think it's the end-all, be-all, and it's the worst thing in the world. But honestly, if you look at the track record of Battle Royales, it's really something special in terms of the success. So obviously, you got Fortnite. PUBG is still going really strong. Warzone, with how bad that is still actually got a massive following behind it. Apex Legends is still a top-tier game in terms of player counts and stuff like that. I mean, you could go on and on about the Battle Royale experience, and honestly, I get it. Apex Legends is kind of like the EA's Battle Royale, bread and butter, but this is more or less tailored to like the immersive experience of a shooter, and obviously it's a Battlefield title. They did have Apex Legends when Battlefield Firestorm came out for Battlefield 5, so I truly believe that they still can do this again, but do it properly and kind of give people another avenue of a free-to-play shooter that keeps them engaged for years to come, and something that will always be around, and something that could be obviously updated with time too. Obviously, as well, we know that Firestorm actually was a very, very good Battle Royale, just stuck behind a paywall, so that's why I very much emphasize the free-to-play aspect of it. But keep that dynamic features of Firestorm in a sense. Well, I'm not saying to exactly copy and paste, but like it really was something crazy and good, and very visually enticing because of how good of an experience it was to play the Battlefield Firestorm. It's just, again, being behind a paywall, not a lot of people got to experience it, so it was very much unfortunate for that type of Battle Royale experience for us to come to die off. I do want to talk about it being more of a looter shooter though, because I definitely like the aspect of, say, you pick up an attachment and the attachment goes on the gun, and I think that's the best type of experience for the looter shooter experience of a battle royale. It makes battle royales more addicting instead of having the custom loadout aspect and just picking up a gun of a certain rarity type of thing. Kind of like Battlefield Firestorm did that too, but it was really like Call of Duty that cemented that type of gameplay, and obviously Fortnite. And I don't like that at all. I think it's just it's like a lazier approach to it, and it really, this gives people the idea that they want to loot around and build the perfect gun for their setup in terms of what they're trying to do. So I truly think that's the way it's got to go. Paywall experience, I say put the base game multiplayer behind a paywall and the campaign, obviously. You'll get your revenue there, and then obviously the campaign experience. It's kind of the same thing like Delta Force is doing, except Delta Force doesn't have the Battlefield touch to everything. It feels more or less like a just downgrade of a Battlefield game, like it's trying to be a Battlefield game. It's kind of hilarious in my opinion, but it's still a good game. It's just got its issues. I don't want to talk about Delta Force. Hopefully all success to them. So good anti-cheat, very important. I believe the anti-cheat's one of the biggest deals coming into shooter games lately. It seems like a lot of developers are just kind of half-assing their anti-cheat, and not to be vague or anything, but it's just what we've been dealing with. We know cheaters are running rampant in all games. They need to step up the play and really throw a full-on, like, just certain team to this to really handle it, and make sure that it stays getting the attention it deserves. Balancing of crossplay. Now, I believe it needs crossplay to survive. I believe you need to be able to have both PC and console to come together. It's been a staple for gaming in a while now, and to have crossplay as a feature. And it really does need to be in this game to survive, because you got a lot more players on console and still, got the PC player count as well. But like, you need them to come together to keep those player numbers up strong. And I truly believe if you balance anti-cheat really, really good and make sure it's handled properly, there shouldn't be an issue then at that point. I mean, yeah, there's probably going to be cheaters here and there leaking, but not game-breaking amount. You know what I mean? And I know there's games out there like Valorant that have really, really good anti-cheat. There's still cheaters that leak in there. Don't get me wrong, but that game is very much playable to this day, so that definitely needs the attention. Also, aim assist. I mean, again, I'm an aim content creator for mouse and keyboard, but aim assist has been broken in a lot of FPS shooters. Don't make this a full-on casual experience, Make there be a skill gap. If there's a skill gap for mouse and keyboard, there's got to be somewhat of a skill gap for controller. I don't care that people have aim assist. I'm not saying to not have it. I'm just saying it needs balancing. It needs to be nerfed to a really strong point where it's fair. Call of Duty definitely doesn't give a crap about that. Aim assist is broken. There's people that literally quit mouse and keyboard to play on controller just to make content on Call of Duty, so it's super ridiculous. Anyways, besides that, emphasis on frame generation for older hardware. I believe since this is going to be a newer title, this is very, very important. I do think that frame generation is actually good technology, and I do think that it is necessary to keep a game lasting in its longevity and lifespan for people to upgrade their hardware or even upgrade their consoles later on. So definitely make sure that frame generation is something that will keep consoles and PCs both in the loop, and I know it is possible to have that. So try not to make this a huge video in terms of what I want and everything, but just a generalization, because I think that they're going to do something special with, obviously, if you guys don't know, Vince Zampella is running or pretty much directing behind the scenes of this fucking game, developing, I mean. But he's very much a well-respected, and he's made plenty of good titles. This has got a very good big promise just for him alone being on the team. So fingers crossed that, he takes it in the right direction and makes this game blow up. This will be something special. But I do want to talk about just simple things real quick before we get too far into this video and I miss anything. Battlefield 5 style crouching or crouch running was already seen in the trailer. So in this generalization, I'm talking about movement for everything I bring up right now. And also, I say, with that being said, Battlefield 5 style crouch running is a good feature, but also I think you should add the slide mechanic of Battlefield 5 as well. It was actually the most fluid map travel movement technology that I've ever had in a video game, where it just flowed so well and it was stylish. You go through, it's very effective on slopes. It was just very clean. It didn't slow you down. It was very good for getting out of gunfights, and it was just very clean. It's not like overly the top breaking, like slide canceling in Call of Duty, where you would slide and then bounce up immediately. That was super sloppy, weird. tech. I didn't like that too much. I know that people just figured it out, but this is very simple. Just keep it like smooth and subtle where you slide and you come back up at a decent speed and you're just flowing. It's just a nice flow around the map. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go pop in Battlefield 5 and do some sliding around and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's very clean, very perfect for what that is in a shooter. Makes the arcade flow, gives it a little bit of speed, but also keeps it still boots on the ground and nothing unrealistic. It's really awesome. Auto tilt. So they've been talking about that there's going to be tilting brought into the game. However, I believe that to balance it properly and not give it an overbroken, mechanic that people will utilize for gunfights and stuff is to just make auto tilt a thing. Auto tilt around corners. Obviously, it avoids the spamming of tilting, and that's really all that there is to it. That's all I believe is, needs to be said about it. But unless you do a tilt feature where you could tilt, and then when you tilt too much or too fast in a consecutive manner, it will slow your tilt down, so that way you can't really tilt at a fast pace anymore, and making you an easier target. Or maybe just have some kind of nerf to where it doesn't promote the idea of it. And I know there's games that have done that in the past where if you tilt too much or you crouch spam too much, it will slow you down like crazy, and then you're an easy target to hit. So it just eliminates it entirely. However, I believe just auto tilt's perfect. You just need, if you're peeking corners and stuff, you just get that tilt so your body's covered and do it properly. Call of Duty kind of did it, but Call of Duty did it very poorly. Call of Duty did it in more of a mannerism of just the way it looks in your viewpoint and not in what your body's doing in the game. So it's really stupid. In terms of Black Ops 6, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Semi-omni movement. Now, I call it semi-omni movement technology. Now, I just truly think that for games like this, boots on the ground, omni movement is a really good step forward in the FPS scene. It really needs to be utilized, and I think Call of Duty brought it to light, and personally, I think it's a good tech, but I just think that, nerf it down a bit. Like, obviously, I'm not going to be sprinting sideways at full speed. You know what I mean? It sounds ridiculous, but I want to be able to move at a decent speed, like going around a corner where it's, like, obviously, it's probably a little faster than just walking, but it's not like full-on sprinting, and then obviously walking backwards and stuff and jumping backwards onto your back. It's all like, it's realistic, If you're a soldier in a situation, kind of have to do that in certain aspects, if you don't want to die, or, you're getting shot at, or you're getting seen and you have to jump out of a line of sight really quick. It's good tech, and it should be in every FPS shooter, bar none. Just balance it. Make it actually work properly. Don't make it look stupid. Like Call of Duty may look stupid, but it is a very good innovation in the space. Auto-mantling and arcade-esque reload speeds. Now, I just say auto-mantling because auto-mantling should be in every shooter at this point. However, it does need to be emphasized that, some games still don't even bring that kind of technology into their game, which, auto-mantling, auto-climbing over things, stuff like that, just generally helps with button spamming or key spamming of your technology that you're using, your peripherals, to make the game a little more, like, you don't have to focus on all that. Like, you're spamming space bar, or you're spamming X on your controller to get over a wall, and sometimes it won't register the click or anything. It should be recognizing that you're about to hit a wall, you're hitting an impact, auto mantle. It's straightforward, common sense. And then the arcade-esque reload speeds, what I mean by that is just, if you've played the most recent pretty much Call of Duty and the most recent Battlefield, even Delta Force, reload speed for some reason have slowed down so bad, and I have no idea why. It is really pathetic. It's embarrassing. And there's no reason for some of it. Is just over the top animations, which doesn't even make sense too much. It's like you're able to jump around and go crazy in these shooter games like you're a fucking superhero. That doesn't make any sense because, again, they're trying to make an arcade shooter, but your reload speed is worse than like a super soldier would ever be. Like I'm not asking for sleight of hand Call of Duty style reload speed, but I'm definitely asking for like a realistic approach to, like, a quick tactical reload. You know what I mean? Like, especially an arcade shooter. It's an arcade shooter. You got to be back in action quick. So it just doesn't make sense to me why games have gone that route, and it really bugs the hell out of me. So I wanted to make sure I emphasize that. Besides movement, gunplay. So as you saw in the trailer, obviously I don't want to show the trailer. Everyone's seen the trailer at this point. It's not showing a whole lot, but it definitely looks like it's more like Battlefield 2042, like the way the guns move around, the way you're holding the gun and sprinting around and stuff. They did talk about in the movement, by the way, that they took away tac sprint. So I want to talk about the aim mechanics. Well, I truly think if they tailor more towards Battlefield 5's aim mechanics, and the way the gunplay works in Battlefield 5, I think it'll be much more enjoyable experience. I think it was the most polished it's ever been. So I truly think that was a a very well put together experience, and I definitely did like that. So Battlefield 5 for sure. Keep it like that. Keep the aim mechanics like that entirely, and it's great. Besides the sniper system, now I mentioned this for those that have played Battlefield 1, is that Battlefield 1 sniper system had the sweet spot system. So if you're doing sniping in Battlefield, the next Battlefield, whatever you want to call it, the new Battlefield, I believe the sweet spot mechanism or sweet spots sniper system should be back. I think it was really good. It gave people a balance of how snipers work. If you have a sniper that has a heavy, just fast bullet velocity or whatever, that should be a camper sniper. You know, put that motherfucker at range and let him sit. That's fine. You know, I mean, yeah, I did just promote camping, but at the same time, this is Battlefield. You know, Battlefield is a generalization of all types of gunplay. So Battlefield will have its, you know, camping nest long range snipers. It'll have its quick scoping snipers that really only do damage in close quarters at proper damage. So that, I think that's just perfect. I think it was one of the best systems that's been added to a game that's underappreciated, and I hope they bring it back and be really nice. Do not add crazy bloom. If you're watching this gameplay right now of Battlefield 2042, you will notice that bloom is kind of ridiculous, and even the SMGs. I just think that, yeah, balance SMGs. You know, if you're spraying a gun for a while, let bloom start become a factor because you're holding it down for a bit. I get that, but like, keep it realistic. You know, if you're using an AR that doesn't have much of a fire rate at all, why would you even add any bloom to that thing? Just add it to faster fire rate ARs and SMGs. Simple, straightforward, to the point. Don't make bloom like Battlefield 2042 bloom. It really hurt the game's like feel. It was definitely better when it was more of a laser beam, even though I still thought it was broken, but it was better at that point. It's better than not having the brokenness, I guess you could say. It's really weird. Modern recognizable weapons, very straightforward. We're all fans of guns. I mean, Battlefield really hits home in terms of like the immersive factor before they start adding all the crap to it, just like Call of Duty does. Call of Duty adds some bullshit to it, but hopefully they just keep it more simplistic and add or keep the modernism to it, is what I'm trying to say. The unlock system in multiplayer, now I haven't really generalized the thought process of it yet, because if it's a looter shooter in the battle royale part, if they do that, how are you going to unlock or what's the point of unlocking attachments and all that for guns and whatever? I get that. I believe that if you do a system where you could still like work towards getting a certain loadout that you build per se, it will give people a reason to buy the game to level up the guns to get those attachments and stuff for that specific loadout build. I think not just being able like a Call of Duty system or Warzone system where you go and buy your gun already in the first start of the game. I think that it should be a looter shooter system, you know, still, but then like end game type of builds or whatever should be able to get this full on kitted out, maybe like 8 attachment gun that's just fully decked out and good, because otherwise, you know, and again, I guess you could say with the battle royale, you can make it a little harder to find certain attachments that are really good, make it more rare, but which makes the more rewarding factor of getting your loadout built at whatever at the end game of you know, say like the final push circle or whatever it is in the battle royale scene. So I don't know, just a generalization. I never really thought exactly how to do that, but if you keep an unlock system in multiplayer, it keeps people playing both the battle royale scene and also the multiplayer scene, so it's good. And then last, for the gunplay, suppression system balancing. This has always been an issue in every shooter. Hopefully this is finally, you know, figured out. The suppression system is very much a big deal, and I personally think that visibility is key in games, and it seems like every shooter nowadays has kind of just fell behind on that visibility mark. They don't really work on having visibility be a big important working process in the game. So definitely get the suppression system going and make it balanced, make it good. Don't screw this up. In the setting, obviously, Battlefield, I say it's obviously looks like Battlefield 4. Keep it that way. You know, immersive gameplay with arcade action. It's very straightforward. There's nothing more to it than what people want. People want just a straight up arcade experience in terms of the way the gunplay is and the way the movement is and the way the, you know, just overall feel of the game. But the visuals, keep it modern. You know, keep it immersive. Make it feel like you're a soldier in World War III or whatever. You know, like let's just say it was a war today. Make it modern. You know, make it a modern feel, modern setting, but just keep that arcade action feel to it, because obviously that's what keeps people engaged in the gameplay. And obviously destruction on a massive level. If we know what game has shown that is very much possible to do that, it is of course the finals. And if we can take notes from the finals, because that is a former Battlefield DICE team, the finals can pull it off with probably a skeleton crew versus what, you know, DICE is now, they could really go to this massive level of destruction. And I think it needs to be done properly, where even on roofs and stuff, you know, you could blow holes into the top of roofs, ceilings, whatever, you know, just it's going to be all possible at the end of the day. I think that if you be able to have that type of destruction, it'll keep people really interested in the game, especially the Battle Royale part. That was one of the biggest things in the Battle Royale of Firestorm that was really good. Obviously, just to finish up real quick, it looks like the video is almost over already. I'm getting behind. Avoid all issues from previous titles at launch. Very straightforward. Focus on community feedback, but really the Battlefield content creators and the fans of Battlefield, focus on their opinion, really, because they're going to be ones that keep engaging in your game for the foreseeable future. Give weekly events. Bring players to grind, you know, for fun rewards, but keep it obviously the identity of the game. Keep it still immersive. Keep it fun. Don't give us no Ninja Turtles freaking skins. Give us just, you know, cool things that fit the theme of Battlefield and the modern war setting, and obviously focus the health of the title at launch. Very, very important. So that is very much key. Make sure the title at launch runs solid, and then no more late developing, and polish as soon as possible. So anyways, hopefully you do like my little bit of a wish list for Battlefield, the newest Battlefield. Follow, like, and subscribe. Truly appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you like and enjoy the gameplay. I'll be making more of these soon. Adios.